try.
Hi.
Obviously, congratulations on the UFC contract. Tell us what the emotions are like for you right now.
Felicidades por tu contrato. Dinos tus emociones en este momento.
Muchas gracias a todos ustedes. Gracias UFC, gracias Dana White. Y me siento súper contento. I am very happy.
Thank you very much. I'm super happy. Thank you, Dana White. Thank you, UFC. And muy contento.
Very nice. Obviously, you didn't have to fight very long in there tonight. How did the fight play out versus your expectations?
No peleaste mucho tiempo. ¿Cómo estuvo la pelea y qué esperabas de la pelea?
La verdad, yo en mi mente tenía pensado que lo iba a noquear o que me iba a ir a decisión, que iba a ser una guerra. La verdad, entré tranquilo, pero encontré el hueco, se dio la oportunidad y pues, lo pude finalizar.
I actually wanted to knock him out or do a war. But I found the sweet spot and I had to finish. So I went for the finish.
Nice. What can you say about what happened to the finish? I think everybody's still trying to figure out exactly what happened. I mean, do you even know?
¿Qué pasó al final de la pelea? Hubo una confusión. ¿Tú sabes qué pasó?
Sí, la verdad, desde que el momento en que él me intentó derribar, sentí que ya no quería pelear. Después defendí el derribo y también sentí que ya no se movió. Y al momento solo de separarlo, antes de separarlo, él ya se estaba como quejando o quebrándose. Entonces simplemente fue así, separé y él ya no quería, creo.
Actually, when he went for the takedown, I felt him he didn't want to fight no more. I felt him hurt. Then when he tried to keep grappling, I didn't feel him strong. So I pushed his face, and then I just saw him. He turned around. So I kind of knew he didn't want to fight. So I just went for everything.
Yeah, and I guess is it disappointing at all? Because you were clearly winning the fight, but is it disappointing at all that there's maybe a little controversy that maybe people will question if you're how good you are?
Obviamente estaba dando la pelea, pero ¿te incomoda poquito que hay una controversia?
No.
Good. Well, you're in. You got the finish. So, give us the ideal scenario for your UFC debut. Is there a date? Is there an opponent? What do you want to do now?
Todo salió bien. ¿Qué sigue para ti? ¿Qué sería lo mejor? ¿Tienes fecha, oponente, etcétera?
Pelear en enero si Dana White me lo permite, ahí en el evento de Brandon Moreno.
If Dana White permits, January, the same event as my teammate, Brandon Moreno.
Felicidades, Manuel, con el triunfo hoy. ¿Cómo te sentiste en la jaula en comparación de cómo te preparaste para este duelo y tu oportunidad en Dana White Contender Series?
La verdad, me sentí tranquilo, confiado. Ahora que tuve a mi esquina el profe Raúl y a Pablo Sabori, pues la verdad me sentía bien confiado. Ya estando arriba ya me sentía muy bien.
De acuerdo, no tuvimos mucho con qué... disculpa la respuesta.
The question was, how do you feel in the cage of this level, Dana White Contender Series? His answer is that I felt good. I had my teammate Pablo Sabori and my coach Raúl Arbizu. So when they closed the cage, I was just normal and happy.
Con ahorita el campeón, como mencionaste, Brandon Moreno, tenemos de Guadalajara Irene Aldaña, en el boxeo en poco tiempo pelea Canelo y continúan los nombres de estrellas de sangre latina. ¿Cómo se siente ya estar con el UFC y ser parte de esa familia?
We have Brandon Moreno, Irene Aldana in UFC, Canelo's going to fight soon. So how does it feel being Latin and now being in the UFC? What are your thoughts about it?
La verdad, estoy súper contento, estoy bien orgulloso de mí, de mi equipo, de mi gente, de todos los que me apoyan. Es algo que, pues, es lo más grande que he logrado. Para mí esto es increíble y me siento bien contento. I am very happy.
I'm super happy. I'm proud of my team. proud of me and everyone. And this is my dream, and I'm just full of happiness.
Gracias, Manuel. Y para terminar, no más de una, así como un pronóstico. Es tu categoría. En poco tiempo se defiende el cinturón. ¿Quién gana entre Carlitos y Dustin?
What's your prediction? Who's going to win? Dustin or ¿quién la pelea, Carlos?
La de Dustin Poirier y Charles Oliveira.
Charles Oliveira. ¿Le vas a Charles Oliveira? Who you think is going to win? Charles Oliveira or Dustin Poirier?
Charles Oliveira.
¿Y cómo? ¿Por decisión o knockout? ¿Cómo la ves? Tu pronóstico, Manuel.
How?
Knockout en el tercer round.
Knockout, third round.
Felicidades, man. Gracias.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations on the UFC contract and the win tonight. What's the emotion like for you right now?
Parabéns pela vitória no UFC, seu contrato hoje. Como que tá a sua cabeça agora?
Muito obrigado. Tá uma loucura. Eu estou muito feliz. Agora eu realmente estou completamente feliz. Quando eu ganhei, eu estava só meio feliz, porque eu vim buscar essa vitória e o contrato e consegui os dois. Então agora eu estou plenamente feliz.
Thank you very much. Now I can say I'm 100% happy. I came to get the win and get the contract. So when I got the win, I was 50% happy, but now I'm 100%, so thank you.
No doubt. Clear just by looking at your opponent that she was a very powerful fighter. How did it feel in there? Was she even stronger maybe than you thought she was?
Só de ver sua adversária dava para ver que ela era muito forte fisicamente. Como que foi lá dentro? Você também se surpreendeu com a força dela?
Eu não me surpreendi com a força dela. Eu sabia que uma das únicas armas que ela tinha era a força, e eu treinei muito para isso. Eu fiz uma preparação física muito voltada para isso e consegui impor o meu ritmo e o meu jogo, e deu certo.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised. I already knew she was a very strong fighter. I knew that being powerful was one of her main qualities. But I was ready for that. I knew that I would be very prepared for whatever she had to offer me. So it all worked out in the end.
Very nice. I got to ask about the Gogo Plata that you had that. I mean, what's going through your head at that time? Did you think you were going to be able to finish it? I mean, that's not a submission that we get to see very often.
Ele precisa perguntar sobre a Gogo Plata que você tentou ali. O que passou na sua cabeça? Você achou que você ia finalizar ali? Não é uma finalização que a gente costuma ver muito, né?
Bom, é uma finalização que eu costumo sempre usar nos treinos, e só não pegou porque realmente estava muito liso. Ela estava sangrando muito e escorregou um pouquinho. Mas é uma posição que eu gosto muito de fazer e espero que nas minhas próximas lutas ela possa acontecer.
Yeah, I always train a lot the Gogo Plata in my training. It's something I love to do. And the only reason she didn't tap out is because it slipped a little bit because of her blood. But I'll keep training harder so I can submit someone with the Gogo Plata in the UFC now.
I like it. The guillotine. Any risk of losing it when you got slammed to the ground, or did you know that it was locked up at that point?
A guilhotina, quando você tomou o quedão, você achou que tinha algum risco de perder a posição, ou você sabia que já estava pega?
Já estava pega.
Yeah, I knew it was over.
Nice. So give us the plan now. Now that you're in the UFC, I mean, are you wanting to fight quickly? Is there an opponent you want to fight? What's the next move for you?
Agora que você está no UFC, você já tem alguma adversária em mente? Você quer lutar rápido? O que está na sua cabeça agora das suas próximas lutas?
A primeira coisa que eu vou fazer agora é voltar para casa e eu quero muito visitar a minha avó, mas é questão de dias, então se o UFC me chamar, independente da adversária e quando for, eu tô pronta, eu tô aqui.
Yeah, the first thing I want to do right now is to go back home and visit my grandma, but that's a matter of days, so if the UFC wants me, I'll be ready and I'm here.
Tudo bom, Karine? Tudo bem. Maravilha. Karine, vamos lá. Sobre a luta em específico, qual foi a maior dificuldade que você sentiu ali? A gente viu que você dominou meio que por completo a luta, mas é uma adversária muito dura e que não entregou fácil, né? Teve alguma dificuldade em específico que você sentiu?
Bom, eu sabia que ela ia fazer esse jogo, né? A hora que eu coloquei uns jabs de direto bem firme, eu sabia que ela ia querer agarrar de qualquer jeito. E no chão ela não ia fazer nada. Então eu só tinha que segurar um pouco, esperar ela cansar e finalizar.
Tem uma característica importante do seu cartel, é a agressividade. Apenas nenhuma vitória sua foi por decisão, né? Nocaute, finalização. Isso é uma marca sua nos treinos, a gente pode esperar isso de você também no UFC a partir de agora. E se tem quando a gente vê lutador assim, sempre tem a questão, né? Mas e o gás, será que aguenta? Você já é um ponto que você trabalha em específico?
Sim, a gente trabalha muito a parte física, a preparação física com o meu treinador, Patrick Cardoso, porque não adianta muita coisa você ter talento e não ter gás. Você não vai conseguir fazer nada lá em cima. Eu acho que vocês podem esperar muita coisa de mim no UFC. Eu estou muito contente, eu estou preparada e eu estou armando uma caixinha de surpresas aí para as minhas adversárias.
Me diz uma coisa, você treinou com o Darren Till anos atrás, né? Ele chegou a puxar treinos para você, foi isso? Me conta um pouco, por favor, dessa experiência trocada com hoje um lutador que já disputou, inclusive, o cinturão do UFC, né?
Sim, já tem algum tempo, foi na época que eu morava em Balneário Camboriú, morava na academia lá, e ele estava fazendo a parte de Muay Thai da equipe inteira e ele puxava o treino pra galera lá. Ele é um cara muito, muito gente boa, muito engraçado, foi um prazer poder treinar com ele. E eu estou muito feliz de ver onde ele conseguiu chegar. E eu quero chegar também, eu vou chegar.
Ele adicionou muitas partes no seu jogo?
Algumas. Mas com o tempo, como foi passando o tempo, eu fui adicionando mais coisas. Foi mudando bastante o que eu aprendi com ele. Mas ainda posso usar muita coisa que eu aprendi com ele.
Certo. Uma curiosidade, antes da última pergunta, é sobre os empregos que você teve. A gente sabe que a vida de lutador no Brasil é muito complicada, viver da luta. Quais foram os empregos? Como é que foi a decisão no momento, tipo, vou viver da luta, sei que você faz 10 anos que você se mudou da sua casa. Conta um pouco pra gente, por favor.
Então, eu comecei a treinar mais para ter uma qualidade de vida melhor e eu não conhecia muito bem a luta. A partir do momento que eu conheci, foi paixão à primeira vista e depois do primeiro sparring, então, acabou. E demorou um pouquinho, eu decidi, tipo, não, agora eu vou lutar. Mas quando eu decidi, eu larguei tudo, abri mão de trabalho, abri mão da minha família, literalmente, porque eles moravam em uma cidade, eu tive que me mudar para outra cidade. E foi difícil, não foi uma coisa fácil, mas foi necessário, porque era o que eu queria. Eu não sou o tipo de pessoa que faz nada pela metade, ou é 8 ou é 80.
Para finalizar, se puder mandar um recado para os fãs do Brasil que vão te conhecer a partir de agora.
Oi, gente, é a Killer aqui. Eu quero agradecer a torcida de vocês e espero que vocês continuem me acompanhando no UFC.
It's been a pretty interesting day and a half for you, I imagine. What's the last 36 hours or so been like for you?
You know what? It hasn't been that different for me. Like one, it feels right that I'm fighting on this stage. It feels right that I've got my contract. And as far as the comment goes and stuff, like, it didn't really faze me like that, but it's just people need to know, like, yo, there's cameras on you. So whatever you say, you're representing the sport. So there's people watching, and I had to make sure I punish him for that. And you can't get away with speaking like that, you know? And I know he wanted a reaction out of me in the fucking, sorry, excuse my language. I was told not to swear too much.
Was that after your other interview?
yeah, on the ESPN one. No, but it's, yeah, you can't get away with speaking like that, you know? And he wanted a reaction out of me to, like, so the fight gets somewhat cancelled, because right before he offered to shake my hand, I told him, no, you're looking for a way out. You missed weight and you're celebrating like you made weight. Did you see that? When he made 139 pounds, he was celebrating like he made weight. I'm like, what? He's just looking for a way out. And I told him that, and then he mentioned the terrorist, and I just looked at him like, what the fuck? And obviously my instinct is to slap him or whatever, but I was like, no, tomorrow I get to deal with him, you know? I'm not going to give him an easy way out, because if I give him one slap now, everyone breaks it up, and, you know?
Yeah. But I do wonder, right, because obviously you're here for a reason, right, and that's to get a UFC deal, and this added layer gets added to it, right? Was it difficult to, like, maybe not let yourself go down that road and to keep focus on, like, the actual task at hand?
You know, I've got, like, good people around me now. My brother, my teammate Amir, Jake Shields, these are very experienced guys, and they keep me grounded, and they always keep it real with me, you know, even my manager Tim and Audi. So when they spoke to me like, don't worry about these things and this and that, and they were like, these are just reminders. Me, I got tunnel vision. A fight to me is a fight. You could swear at my mother, you can do whatever you want. A fight is a fight. I'm still feeling very, very disrespected. Just the fact you signed a contract to punch my face. So you can't really say anything more to disrespect me, you know what I mean? It's just, what he said was just, it's not a good look. It's just, you don't get away with stuff like that. But in terms of like, did I feel disrespected? Yeah, but I feel disrespected anyways. The guy signed to beat me up in front of my family and take food off my plate. It's pretty disrespectful if you ask me, you know?
Nice. Clearly you were dominating the fight, but I mean, you know, didn't get the finish until the very end. Was there any frustration at all, or how did you feel that things were going in there?
No, I don't know if you lot saw it, but like first round was like a 10-8. I tried to let him have it, and I did let him have it, and he was like kind of being a bit of a cockroach, like trying to just defend and whatnot. And round two, I was just like, you know what? I've pretty much got this fight in the bag. Like, I know this guy, the damage I put on him is crazy. I'm in crazy shape. And I was like, I'm just gonna make him suffer a bit more. I was talking to him in there, and I was like, man, it's crazy like how you're not speaking now. I didn't hear a word from him. I didn't hear one word, not even like, shut up, be quiet, or anything like that. And I was just like, it's crazy. There's another thing I want to address. Like, I don't know if you lot heard it, but this guy, I'm okay. Like, I'm okay to forgive and forget, and it's cool. But how unapologetic he was about the whole thing, I was just like, this guy's a real douchebag. Like, you can say sorry and cool, maybe I can be the bigger man, and maybe I can look at you like differently, and hopefully just forgive you for that, which is cool. Like, we all make mistakes, but so unapologetic for it and making excuses, and that can't run. And then he showed his true character. He was quiet when I was beating him up, you know. At least if he took that same game, I would have had a bit more respect for him, but clearly he's a coward.
I don't know if you stayed off social media since all this happened or anything, but I mean, it seemed like there was a huge swell of support for you, and you know, we don't normally see that on Contender Series, right? It's a bunch of guys that nobody's ever seen fight before. They're not sure. So have you felt that fan support? Because it seemed like you had a lot of people cheering for you tonight.
I did actually. I did feel that support. I tried to stay off social media, like just in general. I tried to stay off it, but for this fight, my phone was just pinging off like on everything, and there was a lot of support going for me. I think Instagram removed my post as well. It was blowing up. But at the end of the day, like, it just shows like, man, there are good people in this sport, and they realize like, man, a guy like this doesn't deserve to be here, you know? And they were all supporting me, hoping that I do well, and like my friends were like calling me and stuff, and they're like, you better beat this guy now, there's a lot of hype. And I was like, you idiots, I better beat him anyways. Like I'm here, I'm fighting, you know, like this guy's gonna take my head off, his killer will be killed in here. So any extra comment doesn't really matter, but it was just interesting how they think of it. Like, this is real, man, this is blood sport, you know?
Yeah. The last thing for me, I mean, obviously, mission accomplished. You're in the UFC. So what's the plan now? I mean, is there a date on the calendar you're looking at? Are there opponents you want to fight right out of the gate, or do you want some time off? What's the plan from here?
Nah, listen, I've been very inactive, way more inactive than I would have liked to be. I want to be active as possible. In December, I want to go. November, if they can put me in. January, whatever. You know, I just want to start climbing up the ranks. I feel like I'm at a decent level. I can take these fights. The end goal is obviously a world title. Now I'm with American Jiu-Jitsu, Jake Shields, and we're going to climb that ladder real quick, you know. But let's see. I want to take my time. I don't want to rush nothing. But I want to get fighting, you know, get these under my belts. And if I'm moving up quickly, then so be it. I know what my level's at, you know. I know what the work I put in.
Javi, congrats on the big win. You looked phenomenal. There's nothing I can't say that social media isn't already, you know, quoting and retweeting. How does it feel to have somebody like Jake Shields in your corner? What's that extra edge like with a former UFC title challenger and a former Strikeforce champion?
Man, honestly, like I was a big fan before this, before Jake Shields, and my boy Tariq Azim hooked us up together, and we've been working since. And the guy's done it all. He's had the biggest fights, the biggest pay-per-view fights. He's had the world titles. He was undefeated for like fucking 10 years or 9 years or whatever it was. And he's done it all, like little things that he's telling me, like in terms of like mindset and how to warm up and what to think and what little adjustments that he put in my game. Like I didn't get that much time to work with him this fight, you know, but it was enough to make the necessary adjustments. Like I can't wait what's down the road, you know, with him. It's just great work. It's great to have him in my corner.
And how do you, if you could touch on that real quick, how did this link up happen, and how do you celebrate the fact that you could not be a fan anymore, but be a pupil, a student with a legend?
So yeah, like I mentioned, like I wanted to move from London because I feel like that was the most I could get out of those guys, and like I didn't feel like they were elevating my career as much, and I wanted to take the next level. And me and my brother were training hard, but at home and doing more individual specific training, like going wrestling. Big shout out to my wrestling coach, actually, Andrew Tauchi. He was helping me a lot. And we were kind of doing specific individual work, going places to spar, until I had a visa, because I couldn't get a visa to get in this country. I was supposed to fight on September 7th, which was my birthday. So I was supposed to get my contract on my birthday, but it didn't happen. But anyways, and then I called Tariq Azim, and Tariq Azim's been trying to make this link up happen between me and Jake. And it finally did happen once I got my visa. We started talking and this and that, and we clicked straight away. Yeah, and now it just feels normal having Jake in my corner, you know? It just feels normal, we're cool. You can't be a fanboy anymore, like, because we got some serious work to do, you know?
Excellent. Well, great job on breaking past that ceiling, and good luck going forward.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Sir.
All good. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Buenas noches.
Buenas tardes de la noche. ¿Alguna vez? ¿Tranquilo?
Todo bien.
Okay.
Congratulations on the victory and also the contract, of course. What's the emotion like for you right now?
Felicidades no solo por la victoria, sino que también por el contrato y las emociones en este momento, ¿cuáles son?
Estoy súper contento por este gran logro, la verdad. Vamos a trabajar más duro para poder terminar las peleas y hacer un problema más agresivo.
Very happy. We're going to work harder. Very happy with this achievement, and we're going to work harder to try to finish those fights and become a bigger problem.
I don't know that it was a Great, just really tough. I mean, were you expecting the guy to be as tough in there as he was tonight?
Bueno, tuviste un gran desempeño. La cuestión es que el tipo era duro. ¿Esperabas que fuera tan duro la pelea?
Sí, en realidad sabía que iba a ser una gran guerra. El tipo se ve que es un tipo duro. Su récord lo decía, 16 ganadas, 5 perdidas. Yo venía a dar una guerra, venía a demostrarle que yo estoy más duro.
Of course, yeah, I did. And I mean, you can see that the guy's tough. His record says so, 16-5. But I just wanted to prove that I'm tougher.
Nice. Did you get hurt at all? It caught you with a couple shots. It didn't seem like anything too bad, but were you ever hurt in there?
¿Te pegó algunas veces, pero te lastimó alguna vez o algo así o no?
Pues en realidad hubo uno que otro que tuvo un golpe fuerte, pero en realidad me sentí fuerte, absorbí sus golpes muy bien y me volví a recuperar.
I took them very well. I mean, I felt that a couple of them maybe were a little tougher, and I felt it, but I felt that I recovered really well, and I was able to keep on going.
Meanwhile, you hit him with a lot of stuff, and I know you said you expected him to be tough, but is there ever like a mental, check along the way that you're like, what do I have to do to get him out of here?
Obviamente mencionaste que era duro, pero en algún momento la cabeza como que te dijo, mira, ¿qué más tengo que hacer para terminar eso acá?
Sí, pensé muchas cosas, dije, ¿cómo lo puedo terminar? ¿Cómo voy a hacer que él se doble? Le tiré, lo corté, lo sangré y no caía, pero a final de cuentas me llevé la pelea y yo creo que hay que trabajar un poquito más mis manos.
Yeah, many times I actually reevaluate myself thinking, well, what do I have to do? I mean, I cut him, I hit him and everything else, but again, just gonna have to, at the end of the day, it was good that we won the fight and gonna work harder to make sure that happens next time.
Nice. It did seem clear that you had won the fight, but obviously we see weird decisions sometimes. Were you worried at all about the judges, or did you know for a fact you had this?
Me pareció muy claro que ganaste la pelea, pero nosotros hemos visto algunas decisiones un poco distintas acá. ¿En algún momento se quedó en duda? ¿Tuviste alguna duda de que la pelea no era tuya?
No, siempre pensé que había ganado los 3 rounds. Nunca dudé de mí, pero yo creo que lo que no me cabía en la cabeza era que no lo pude terminar.
No shadow of a doubt. I really thought that I won all the 3 rounds, so I didn't have a doubt at that point. The only thing that really bothered me is I could not finish him.
Nice. Well, you got into the UFC anyway, so what's the plan now? Is there a date that you see that you want to fight? Is there an opponent that you want to fight? What's the plan for the debut?
Bueno, de cualquier manera entraste en el UFC, o sea, ahora, ¿qué piensas? ¿Una fecha en que tienes en la cabeza? ¿Tal vez un oponente que ya sepas el nombre, algo así?
En realidad ahorita lo único que traigo en la cabeza es regresar a entrenar y estar listo para cuando me hable.
And the only thing in my mind right now is to go back to the gym, go back to training, and be ready when they talk to me.
Felicidades, Cristian, con el triunfo. Nos contaste después de la pelea que nomás vimos 40% de Cristian. Pues, ¿qué queda con los otros 60% por ver?
Congratulations, Christian. After the fight, you actually mentioned we just 40% of you. So, what are those 60% remaining of Christian that we can see?
Yo creo que me lo guardé porque no lo pude sacar, pero se los prometo que para la siguiente pelea lo saco.
I just had to kind of take it in because I couldn't bring it out, but I do promise the next time I'll bring it out for you.
Y en la esquina, Cristian, como que tenías una super esquina. Oímos a Tatiana Suárez, Brandon Moreno, ahí estaba también Manuel Torres echándote porras. ¿Cómo se siente con ese tipo de apoyo adentro de la jaula, aparte de que tu hermano ya está en el UFC?
Your corner, I mean, what kind of superstar corner you had there? You had Suarez, you had Brandon Moreno, everybody, Torres, everybody was there with you all the time. I mean, how does it feel to actually have that kind of corner and that kind of support, besides the fact that your brother's a UFC fighter?
Oh, se siente súper grande, me hacen súper fuertes. Con esa esquina le peleo a quien sea, no me importa.
I feel bigger, I feel stronger. With that kind of corner, I can take on anyone, it doesn't matter.
Y finalmente, qué estupendo es que tu hermano y tú lograron este sueño. ¿Cómo se siente lograrlo? Si es que lo puedes poner en palabras de que el legado de Quiñones ya está oficialmente.
And finally, the Quiñones legacy, the fact that you and your brother made it. What does it feel? What does it feel to actually have that accomplishment, that double accomplishment?
Es una gran pregunta, yo creo que no tiene palabras, es un sentimiento, pero que te llena el cuerpo de alegría y vibraciones. Para nosotros el UFC es lo máximo, es nuestro sueño, es nuestra vida, y llegar aquí y lograrlo es algo que no se puede explicar.
Is a great way to put it. I don't have words for it. It's actually not describable. Is the feeling to actually have made it this far, have worked so hard to this. It's something really I can't explain.
De cualquier modo, man, pues felicidades y buena suerte con tu carrera.
At any rate, congratulations and good luck with your career.
Muchas gracias.
We're good. All right.
Well, Dana, that was an exciting night, man. Obviously, you got
Incredible,
five more, but I mean, I almost hate to ask you if any of it stood out. It was like almost all of them did, but did any of them stand out above the other that you're just most excited about?
You know what? I don't know if you heard me say it to Laura tonight, but I was thinking about this tonight. You know, we own a few libraries, you know, in combat sports. This is the second best library in combat sports. I mean, you can make the argument for Pride, because Pride had some classic, unbelievable fights, but they had a lot of shitty fights on there, a lot of mismatches and things like that too. But this thing, in 4 seasons, top to bottom, I mean, every single fight is excellent. It's crazy. This is the second best library in all of combat sports. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it might be too early, but I wanted to ask you if you had any update on Janzi Silva. Obviously, that main event looked kind of scary with that knee bar submission. Do you?
Well, I don't, but what I was happy to see is he got up and walked out of the octagon, you know? Yeah, so I hope he's good. Hope he's okay. If he's not, we'll get him fixed.
He walked out under his own power.
He
right?
did. Yeah, he wasn't holding on to anybody. He wasn't, you know, usually after a knee bar like that, and if it's really bad, you don't see guys walking themselves out. So hopefully, knock on wood, he's okay.
No doubt. We had a rivalry fight, which we don't normally have here in Dana White's Contender Series, where there's tension. You know, I'm just curious when you found out about you know, the face-off yesterday, the terrorist comment. And,
Yep.
I don't know if you thought about doing anything. You know what I mean? It was just, you know, I know you say all the time is, hey, it's a fight business. People say mean things, but you know, that one seemed maybe a little far.
You know what my answer is to that. Are we going to do anything? It got done tonight. You know what I mean? That's the beautiful thing about this sport. I say it all the time. This is not a nice sport. This is a very rough sport. We say a lot of mean things to each other, a lot of, you know, and justice gets served at the end of the day. I mean, listen, when you have a situation like that, the best way to solve the problem is you fight, and you fight legally, and you get paid to do it, and that's what happened tonight.
Do you ever feel that there is a line, though, that you got to worry about? Like, hey, maybe that was a little too far?
No. Not in this business, I don't.
Yeah.
There's been, if you look, you can add that to the pile of some pretty nasty things that have been said in this sport. And not just this sport, boxing, I'm sure Muay Thai, kickboxing, you know, you name it. Mean things are said. In this insanely politically correct world we're living in, this is one place that is not.
Yeah. The only other thing I wanted to ask you about that is I do wonder sometimes, do you worry about like safety and security in there sometimes? Because like in a big arena with people yelling at each other, nobody hears anything, right?
Yeah,
when you got friends and family 10 feet away.
It's a great question. You know, the truth is, first of all, I think Herb Dean, was it Herb that did that fight? Yeah, did a great job. At the end of every round, he was right in there to make sure there was no extra punches or any of that thrown. And then, obviously, our security here is very aware of what the situation is, and we make sure cornermen and backstage and all that stuff. When you come to Khabib here, we make sure that everything is as safe as possible no matter what's said. And I can point out too, if you noticed at the end of the fight, the beginning of the fight, these guys were both hostile. At the end of the fight, they shook hands and hugged. When you go in and you do, Basharat even gave him credit at the end of the fight and said he's a tough guy. He's a very tough guy. I was trying to finish him the whole fight. There's a certain respect, a level of respect that is created when you go in and do what those two did tonight. It's the beautiful thing about this sport.
It didn't go well for them all tonight, but you had 3 Chinese fighters, right, coming from the Shanghai Performance Institute. So I'm just curious kind of, what that means when you see a handful of fighters. I mean, it's got to feel like progress is being made. I mean, again, they didn't get the results, but it seems like the sport's developing quickly.
100%. And if you look at the fights and how competitive the fights were, it's a good thing, man. And we're I don't have the information for you guys yet, so I probably shouldn't even say it, but here I go. We got a spot in Mexico City now, so we're going to be breaking ground and starting to build that place here really, really, really soon. So I'm excited about that too.
Do you have a target date for when that would be operational?
I don't, but I do. Let me get that information. Like I said, I open my big yap right now and don't have all the information, so I'll get it to you as soon as I can.
Nice. Just 2 other quick ones. Josh Quinlan was a guy that won a contract earlier this year, and he ended up testing positive for drostanolone. He was suspended for 9 months by the Nevada Commission. Just curious how you look at that. I mean, is it just, hey, serve your time and you're still here? Or if a guy comes in here and tests positive, do you think about rescinding their contract or pulling that offer?
Yeah, it's obviously a tough situation, and people make mistakes, and he's not the first guy here or in professional sports for that to happen. So, I wouldn't destroy the kid's life over it. He's going to pay whatever he's got to pay. He's going to take whatever penalties he's got. And when you're here, this is the best testing policy on the planet. So, be tough to cheat here.
Yeah. We had some surprise news with Mike Perry today that he's joining Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. So I just want to ask you about that. Was that a situation where he was already a free agent, or did he come to you guys and ask for a release? How did that all play out?
His contract had expired. Mike Perry is a fun fighter. I mean, he's had so many fun fights here, and I wish him the best.
Fair enough. I guess last thing, you're probably heading to Abu Dhabi first thing in the morning.
Yep.
Any nuggets or news notes, anything you can leave with us?
Hopefully when I come home, I'm going to have a ton of news for you guys. So I think my meeting is Saturday. I have a meeting Saturday before the fight and button up some business over there that's been, hanging out there for a while. So I want to get this done, come back and bury you guys with great news.
I guess only a 2-part question, sort of, for me. But when you talked about the Contender series, and I'm going to try not to repeat any of John's questions as well. You had talked about, you said that the Contender series, the library, you think it was the second best, but you've also shown love for the Ultimate Fighter. It's always been a baby of yours. Has the Contender series sort of overtaken that for you as to being, which is closer to your heart out of those two?
2 totally different shows. I mean, you can't compare the 2, and you definitely can't compare the libraries, because when you look at the Contender series and what it's meant to be, the Contender series is the best unsigned guys in the world fighting each other to see who gets a contract, one night, whatever. The Ultimate Fighter is more of a developmental show. I mean, when you go into the Ultimate Fighter, you come out of that place a better fighter. It's a completely different show. And obviously the Ultimate Fighter will always be, number one to me. It's the thing that made us, and we've done so many seasons of it. But the Contender series, I mean, this library, when we do these knockout and submission videos, the greatest knockouts and all that stuff, I think every fight in season 1 was a knockout. I mean, you could do the whole first season a knockouts show on that. And when you think of all the different ways to chop up the content, it's the second best library in all of combat sports. I can't think of another combat sport that has a better library than the Contender series.
And to kind of piggyback that, you know, the Ultimate Fighter, we saw people go on eventually be Hall of Famers. When you look at the people that are starting to come out of the Contender Series, it's still new enough that we haven't had any champs.
Yep.
But going in the future, if you have to look forward, do you think eventually we'll have more champs and Hall of Famers coming out of the Contender Series than possibly coming out of the Ultimate Fighter?
I do think that. Yeah, I do. I think that you'll find more world champions coming out of the Contender. Yeah.
I think so. I think so too. Thank you.
Yep.
Dana, thanks for another great night. This weekend we got the free card. That's awesome. A numbered pay-per-view, or UFC. But how big is the Madison Square Garden event trending? How many people are hitting you up for tickets? What's it looking like? Give us.
There are no tickets. You know, we're sold out. The event's sold out. I have no tickets. My block of tickets are gone too. Yes, the Madison Square Garden card is massive. Obviously, incredible fights on that card too. I'm looking forward to the main event. I thought that Usman and Colby Covington is one of the best fights that I've ever seen. The first fight, and I'm highly anticipating the second fight.
Sounds good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And yes, for those of you that don't know, this card is free. It is not pay-per-view. People can say it's not free. It's on ESPN Plus. It's free. ESPN Plus is $5 a month. Okay, you got to pay for cable, or you got to pay for something to have TV. But this is a free fight. 2 title fights, a ton of other great fights on the card, and it's free. Have a good night, you guys.
Safe travel. $6. Going? Where? Vegas?
Congratulations on the win tonight and also the UFC contract. Just curious what the emotion is like for you right now.
И расскажи, что ты чувствуешь сейчас.
Спасибо большое. Конечно, я очень счастлив. Наконец-то добился этого. И теперь осталось охотиться за топами. В общем, приеду домой, недельку отдохну чуть-чуть и начну усердно готовиться. Отдыхать времени нет очень.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy and very glad I accomplished this goal. This is very important for me. And my next goal is start hunting on tops in my division.
I like it. A dominant performance from you, a first-round finish. Are you satisfied with how you fought tonight?
Очень доминирующая и впечатляющая победа в первом раунде у тебя была сегодня.
Да, как все видели. У меня больше опыта. Я был лучше в ударной технике, был лучше в борьбе, ну, как вы видели. И сабмишн тоже у меня очень хорошие, разные. У меня очень большой опыт в грэпплинге, даже я выступал, поэтому я готов и в партере, и в стоке, и в борьбе, разницы нет.
I was ready for all aspects in this fight. My striking was great, grappling, wrestling, and as you saw, I delivered great submission. And yeah, I was pretty confident. I was doing a great job.
Nice. Finishing with a leg lock, was that something that you came in with the idea to use in this fight, or is it something you just saw in the moment?
То, как ты финишировал своего оппонента рычагом колена, это то, что тебе пришло неожиданно в голову, или ты планировал так сделать?
Ну, в раздевалке с своим тренером я ее сделал, он тоже сказал, в принципе, можно ее тоже попробовать. Поэтому я хотел пятку, скручивание пяток, поэтому он оттуда ушел, и я перешел на другой.
Yes, we had a little practice right before fight in a locker room with my coach. He did one time, I did one time, and he said, "Yes, you could do that." Initially, I was planning to use like a different element, but finally we decided to use this one.
Nice. Well, very impressive career record, a lot of finishes. You said you're starting to hunt for the top. Do you feel like you can be an immediate contender in the UFC, or will it take a little time to develop?
Впечатляющее начало, у тебя впечатляющий рекорд, 12 уже теперь 13 побед. Ты чувствуешь, что ты находишься где-то в середине своего дивизиона, или это должно занять некоторое время, чтобы очутиться там? Ты думаешь, что ты находишься в середине своего дивизиона, или ближе к топу, или ниже? Как ты чувствуешь?
Ну, конечно, мне надо много тренироваться, готовиться, выигрывать хороших бойцов и заходить топа. Но я скажу, где-то топ в 100 я уже вхожу, поэтому мне надо пару боев выиграть. Я думаю, мне дадут топовых бойцов тоже.
Yeah, I'm thinking to do more training, more preparation. I'm feeling I need to do a couple fights more, and then we figure it out. And then I will looking forward and move myself on that stair.
Nice. Last question for me, I guess, is what's the perfect scenario for your UFC debut? Is there a date you want to fight, a name you want to fight? How do you want to move from here?
Ну, что ты думаешь по поводу своего дебюта в UFC? Просто представь и расскажи нам.
В принципе,
Кого бы ты хотел вызвать?
Кого бы хотел?
С кем бы хотел подраться?
Мне не важно, с кем подраться. Я готов драться с лучшими. Только с ними ты растешь, поэтому я готов с лучшими драться. И, в принципе, я никакого урона ничего не получил в бою. Я, в принципе, готов даже через месяц выйти подраться даже. Я приеду и начну, недельку отдохну и начну заново приступлю к тренировкам.
I'm ready to fight like in about a month, and I think I have to fight with the best fighters. This is the only way how I can grow in my career, and I have no specific names, but just, yeah, I would like to challenge the best.